I'm your host, Marcus Hood. I have a very special guest here today. His name is Brendan. He's the founder of Master Talk, which you can find on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure, Marcus. Thanks so much for having me on, man. So my name is Brendan Kumar Sami. I'm the founder of Master Talk. Master Talk is a YouTube channel I started to help the world master the art of communication and public speaking. And how I got started was when I was in university and college, Marcus, I went to business school and I did these things called case competitions. Think of it like professional sports,
Yeah.
but for nerds. Guys my age were playing, yeah, but playing like basketball or rugby or some other sport you probably wouldn't see me playing. I did presentations competitively.
Okay.
That's how
Like I know it's kind of it was your dad's alcoholism, but how did that kind of affect your life? Growing up.
yeah, 7 to 10 years, it wasn't so bad, where I
Yeah.
was really just focused on, getting an education and not really trying to art because remember I'm like 8 or 10 years
Mhm.
old. I think the challenges really started when I was probably 12 or 13 when he lost his job.
What did you learn outside of school that helped you develop the skills that you have today?
Yeah, for say school played a big role in my public speaking education. But when I mean school, I don't mean classes. I don't mean courses. I mean extracurricular activities. So
Okay.
that case competition thing that I was talking about where you're giving these business presentations, that wasn't a school assignment. That's literally instead of playing football, you're like doing case comp, kind of like a debate team.
Right.
And it was the people in that group that really made me into who I am today, where they would constantly push me. It's kind of
Yeah.
where you have like Michael Jordan who's really focused on basketball and people care about basketball. I was the same way in university, but in a sport that nobody pays attention to, which was case competitions. So that's how I learned. I would say informally, though, most of my informal education was listening to podcasts like this. So I started.
So, what other type of events are there out there to listening to speakers like yourself?
There's so many, Marcus, a ton of them. I would say it's more about listen to the people in general, like watch a lot of people, and then the people you gravitate towards, you want to lean in on that energy. So in
Yeah.
the same way, I know why people don't like jobs. I love jobs because it's a guaranteed income for guaranteed output. If you work in this factory, you do this thing, you drive an Uber, you work at an accounting firm, to get results, they'll pay you a specific amount of money, which I think is great. I'm struggling this month because they're visiting. My mom wouldn't care if I became a $10 million business owner or if I just worked as a janitor somewhere. And there's nothing wrong with that. Is
Yeah.
that she would love me either way, like the same amount.
Yeah.
And I feel that's powerful and it's not as easy to get in your life with people you just meet. It's possible,
Mhm.
but it's not easy. I think there's something about blood relationships that you just can't replace. So that's one. With my business partners, I would say there's a similar line of logic, but the way that they play a role in my life and my professional network, even if I don't even like the word professional, but you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
people in my homies, let's call it my homies, my
Yeah.
home slices, that they push me. They're tough.
The question that I'm going to end all this on is I want you to kind of picture your younger version of yourself or any younger man or woman out there that doesn't know who they are. If you were to give them a piece of advice to be successful and to break those boundaries and to find that good soil that you can place yourself in.
For sure, Marcus. So I'll say this, Tony Robbins says the quality of your life is solely determined by the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. My version of Tony's quote is I dare you and everyone who's listening to this podcast to ask yourself one hard question about life every single day. And I promise you, if you did that for 30 days, you'll never be the same ever again. What does that look like? It means waking up tomorrow and asking yourself this question. If I gave you all the money in the world, what would you do with your time? Because a lot of us are trying to retire at 65, which is an arbitrary number that somebody else gave us.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So that's the first question. I'll just give 3 to keep it simple for today. Then on day 2, ask yourself, now that you've figured out the answer to the first question, start to think about, okay, if you could only accomplish 3 things in your life, what would you want those 3 things to be and why?